I have a great story today. Our boy, could it be that Donnie is here to save the day? Who knows, people? Who knows? But Marijuana Moment reports Trump pledges to free Silk Road drug market operator Russ Ulbricht, despite calling for execution of drug dealers. I don't know if Trump's still on that Duterte shit, but this is interesting.
Probably endorsed him from prison.
Donald Trump says he'll commute the sentence of a person convicted of running a dark web illicit drug market on day one. He quotes, he's quoted saying, of his presidency if elected in November. A promise of clemency that seems to conflict with his position that people who sell drugs should face the death penalty. During a speech before the Libertarian National Convention on Saturday, Trump said, quote, "If you vote for me, on day one I will commute the sentence of Russ Ulbricht to a sentence of time served," earning boisterous applause, and at an event that also saw the former president booed at various intervals. Ulbricht, who was sentenced to life in prison for operating the dark web market known as the Silk Road from 2011 to 2013, thanked Trump for the commitment in a post on X. Excuse me. All right. After 11 years in prison, it's hard to express how I feel at this moment, he wrote. It is thanks to your undying support that I may get a second chance. But Trump's promise appears to contradict the extreme drug policy platform he promoted at earlier stages of his campaign, which may have to do with the libertarian audience he was attempting to woo this weekend. Dozens of attendees raised Free Ross signs when he made the remarks. Last June, the former president defended his position that people who sell illicit drugs should be quickly convicted and executed, touting countries like China and Singapore for enforcing the lethal penalty against drug offenders. Trump said that capital punishment is the only way you're going to stop addiction. In that interview, however, he seemed confused when he was confronted with the fact that he proposed an execution plan for drug traffickers would have condemned a woman he pardoned and promoted as an example of a key criminal justice reform achievement during his administration. The exchange served as another example of the enigmatic drug policy worldview of the former president, who at one point, more than 30 years ago, said that the country needs to legalize drugs to win the war on drugs, but is now campaigning on an aggressive drug warrior platform. Trump has previously seemed to bask in the headlines about his criminal justice reform actions, namely clemency granted to people during his time in the White House, but at the same time seeks to appeal to voters as a tough-on-crime candidate. And while he's voiced support for medical cannabis and the right of states to set their own marijuana policies, he's also attempted to link mass shootings to genetically modified marijuana. That's a quote. Meanwhile, President Joe Biden's re-election campaign has twice attempted to draw contrast with Trump on cannabis policy. Specifically, it has promoted the president's marijuana pardons and moved to reschedule cannabis, comparing it to the withdrawal of federal marijuana enforcement guidance under the Trump administration. A GOP senator said last week that Biden's strategy to win the re-election this November is to get more people to smoke marijuana, end quote, criticizing the rescheduling push. And that wraps up the article by Kyle Yeager in Marijuana Moment. Guys, this is fascinating. I mean, obviously we know politicians are all full of shit, no matter who they are. So there's no surprise that he's flip-flopping a little bit here. But I know that there's somebody in his little group there that's telling him that he needs to be tough on crime to win some of the conservative votes. But what do you all think out there? Jason, what do you have to say about this?
This is not flip-flopping, Saman. This is all of my liberal friends taking Trump's words far, far, far too literal. When he was talking about convicting, what was the quote you guys said? Drug. What was it? What was it, Todd? I know you know this.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. You know, when he was talking about convicting drug traffickers to the death penalty. And
right.
Yeah, he was strictly referring to people selling fentanyl.
Trump says whatever, is the quote of the day. He probably got an endorsement from the guy in prison, right?
No, stop it.
And he said, he saw a sign out in the crowd. Free him. Yes, I will do that on day one. I mean, that's what he does. I mean, he's a lying sack of shit that we all know, and he's not going to do anything that he says he's going to do.
He's done a lot of things that he said he was going to do. He's one of the only presidents that have done pretty much every campaign promise he campaigned on.
Yeah, how's that wall?
How's that wall working?
The wall is amazing. This wall is
Mexico
amazing.
paid for that wall? Did
Mexico paid for that wall.
Mexico they did that. For it.
That's why it's still not done, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought, yeah. They can't get the guys to show up.
Yeah, Mexico defaulted.
Yeah. Yeah. The old default.
All jokes aside, though, I think this is fantastic that he said that he's going to free this guy. He's also brought up and said that he's going to free Julian Assange, and so I'm just like, yeah.
Also said he's going to free all the people who broke into the Capitol.
He should free all those people that broke into the Capitol because they didn't break in; they walked in. Look at all the video.
Oh.
To put Julian Assange in the same category as the guy who stood up the Silk Road, Julian Assange is the biggest whistleblower since Daniel Ellsberg. And the guy who ran the Silk Road when he was federally prosecuted, it wasn't just drugs that were being sold on the Silk Road, weapons, a variety of other. So you're going to tell me that he's going to fucking free a goddamn illegal drug runner and weapons purveyor because he plays to a crowd. The thing that people like about Trump is he just says what he thinks. The thing that people don't like about Trump is he just says what he thinks. The problem with saying what he thinks is we can't track the bouncing ball of his thought process to figure out what his North Star is, what he plans on doing, what's really important to him, and when he's not playing to the crowd.
It's because he has no original thought. He thinks about whatever will get him elected.
In all fairness, Yarrow, you have you do have our current president who traded a woman NBA All-Star for the so-called Merchant of Death plus like 4 or 5 others.
Correct.
So, if this is just one person, I'm fine with that. Let him free the one person. And you also, too, need to realize, too, is that he was speaking at the Libertarian Party, which is the 3rd largest political party in this country. And it was... I'm
actually surprised that Trump knows the difference between a libertarian and a liberal, since they first start with the same 3 letters.
He doesn't.
There is a difference between a libertarian and a liberal. That's for sure.
Yeah, there is. I just wouldn't expect this policy wonk, this Mensa member, this genius of all things societal fixing. Let's go through it. Like, this guy is just a stream of consciousness guy. He should be here with us at High at 9 News, just saying what he thinks, because he's really entertaining.
He's got good people around him, Yarrow. Good people. Good people.
Yeah, all of the
they're all in jail.
They're all in jail. Like, especially his national security advisor, right? Mm-hmm. That first guy. I mean, he was like, yeah.
Who are you talking about? General Flynn?
Traitor Flynn.
General Flynn is not a traitor. That's not true. That's not reality.